win the 1997 Mini Eliminator over Mike Truitt. In 1998, Vinny Atria could do nothing but wait as Torrey Torgerson was 2 strikes from victory. It wasn't to be, and Atria claimed the title. Last year, it came down to this shot for Ralph Smith. That strike secured the victory over Dan Bach. Who will it be in 2000? Find out next. Welcome to the Orleans Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome inside the Bowling Center for the finals of the Storm Shootout and the 7th annual Storm Mini Eliminator. Hello everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt. Thanks for joining us. You're going to be glad you did. You get to see 2 events today, 2 separate events. Later on in the telecast, we'll bring you the Storm Mini Eliminator, but right now, you're going to see the Storm Shootout. It's an exciting event, and here to talk to you about the format is one exciting man, PBA Hall of Famer and my partner, Marshall Holman.
Jan, it's great being with you, and it is a very exciting event. Now, unlike a regular game of bowling, there is a dollar value for each individual frame here in the shootout. As you can see, the prize money is 1 through 6 frames, 500, 7 and 8, 1,000. The 9th frame is 2,000, 10th frame, 3,000. Now, if any bowler ties with a strike, if we have 2 ties, then that will carry the money over to the next frame, and the next bowler will get up and bowl. But if it goes past the 10th frame to an 11th frame, then they'll go into a sudden death. And in that sudden death, the highest count, whether it's 8, 9, or a strike, they'll take home the money.
Well, that could go on for quite some time. And Marshall, you've bowled a few of these in the past.
Back in the early 90s, I was involved in 3 of these shootout formats. And Jan, they're a lot of fun. There's a lot of pressure. And one thing about them is you can actually throw the most amount of strikes, maybe not end up making any money. So there's a lot of tension involved. Maybe a little bit of psyching out as well. They're going to have a lot of fun. We've got 4 great players.
And they are standing by. They want to introduce themselves to you.
Hi, my name is Chris Cullins. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'd like to say hello to my brother and his wife back home and their little boy Cameron, and also my grandmother and everybody back home at our bowling alley, Lafayette Lane.
Hi, my name is Jack Allison from Bismarck, North Dakota. I'd like to say hello to my lovely wife, Shelley. Thanks a lot. And all the co-workers back home in Mellon and Midway Lanes. Thanks a lot.
Hi, my name is John Daly. I'd like to say hi to my brother and my sister and to Montero Elementary School. This is for you and me.
Hi, my name is Danny Sustaita from Escondido, California. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. This is for you, Daniel.
Well, that group looks like they're ready to bowl, and we're ready to get started. So, hey, let's go bowl. Handshakes around, and Marshall, you know, this is interesting because some of the time they'll be rooting against each other and sometimes for each other if they want someone to tie to carry the money over.
Well, it's all about trying to save it for maybe the next frame where they can get it. This bowler right here, Chris Cullins, watching him in practice and watching him in the tournament, I make him the favorite.
I would agree with you. He was so cool under pressure earlier, and we'll get into that maybe next time he's up. Right now we're going to get a first look at the senior. There's brackets here, and they came through different divisions. The senior bowler is Jack Nelson. Bismarck, North Dakota is represented today.
Well, he comes in a little bit high, leaves the 4 and the 7. And, you know, a lot of times, Jan, when you bowl on television, you get a little nervous. And when you get nervous, the ball speed goes down. Hence, the ball goes high into the pocket. Somebody's going to have to get up and throw a strike in the next 2 shots, or Chris Cullins will find himself $500 richer.
Daly made it here in the 40 to 49 bracket, 46 years old from Long Beach, California. So they won't be shooting their spares today. Just throw a shot. If they don't strike, they're done.
That's right. It's all about getting strikes in the first 10 frames. You know, if it goes extra innings, well then the count will win. Very deliberate player, taking a lot of time on the approach. Boy, that ball really snapped. Again, the speed of the ball was down. Ball went dead left. He missed the head pin, and he's not going to be too happy with that. Now
Chris Cullins sitting there looking on. He knows he may win the first frame here if Danny Sustaita can't strike.
And Danny, he came up to me prior to the telecast, and he said Mr. Holman, which kind of offended me. I said, just call me Marshall.
Yes, Mr. Holman?
He said, how do you get rid of the nerves? I mean, he was admittedly very nervous. I told him, I said, everybody's going to be nervous today. Just relax, enjoy yourself, and you'll be fine. So we'll see how he handles himself right now as Mr. Collins sits there and watches.
He looks pretty relaxed, taking a drink of water.
It's going left. 2 shots in a row, and Chris Collins, he wins the first frame and $500, and you really saw a couple of nervous deliveries there in our first frame.
Well, Chris Collins made it here 2 games ago. Watching him finish out, they tied at 268, and they had to have a 9th and 10th frame roll off. Some noise broke out, and he threw a washout in the 10th frame, and he needed the spare and a strike in order to win. And they had all kinds of problems. It swept the pins. They set it up wrong. They called him back, and he was so calm and cool. They respotted it. He picked up the washout and struck. It's the only reason he's here.
Oh. Solid 9. You see there's a smile on Chris Collins' face, maybe because he got the money from the last frame, but boy, could not have thrown the ball any better. The ball's going to drive right in front of the 9 pin. It's seemingly just perfect right here, but there's no deflection, Jan. Pins go around and above it, but it's just 9.
Pins everywhere. Boy, he's lined up, though. I think he's feeling pretty confident right now.
He should be.
Jack Nelson now up, the senior in our group. He is married. Wife's name is Shelley.
And a great shot from Jack Nelson. Now he sits down and watches a couple bowlers come up and try and take that $500 out of his pocket.
John Daly, as you said, takes some time. Very deliberate player.
And both John and Danny Sustaita in the last frame threw what I would call very nervous shots. Both crossing over, missing the head pin left. Right now he's got to be saying to himself, let's just make a quality shot. Come on, I know what I'm doing here.
Well, he's a rookie in Megabuck tournaments. This is his first Megabuck tournament.
Boy, all the way to the telecast.
Yeah. I'm sure he's very nervous.
Much better delivery. Quality result. And they'll carry over. Danny Sustaita will get up, and now he'll throw the first shot in the 3rd frame. Now, John Daly, very tall man, doesn't bend over too much. Watch the ball come back into the pocket. 6 pin's going to take care of the 10. And boy, he's got to feel great about that shot because he just put that first frame right out of his mind.
So since they've tied, Nelson and Daly, the money carries over to the 3rd frame, now worth $1,000. And Danny Sustaita starts it off.
Comes in light, shakes him around, leaves the 10 pin, but Sustaita's got to feel a little better about that shot, especially after the way that he threw the air ball in the first frame.
Well, don't forget also, besides all the money going on each frame by frame, there's also whoever throws the most strikes throughout this match is going to receive 2 free round-trip tickets anywhere in the continental U.S. that National Airlines flies, courtesy of National Airlines.
They'll certainly like that.
It's a pretty good prize in itself.
You bet. Ball going long down the lane, leaves the 2, the 4, and the 10, and
first errant shot I've seen out of him in a few games.
And that can cause ramifications in future frames, put a little self-doubt in. So, the momentum changes. It swings back and forth so much in a shootout format. Jack Nelson now getting up after making a great shot his last time.
Marshall, did you win a lot of money in the shootouts you bowled?
I was very fortunate. I won the lion's share in the first 2 shootouts that I participated in, and then got a little bit in the 3rd one.
And did you play intimidation out there at all?
Well, not intentionally, but some people said I did. Jack Nelson with a beautiful strike.
It's 2 strikes in a row for Jack Nelson. And John Daly will try and stop him again from taking home the money this frame. 3rd frame now worth $1,000.
John Daly has to strike here, or it's Jack Nelson's money. Collins, He left the 2-4-10, and Sustaita left the 10-pin. Nelson with the strike, and Daly trying to keep this money going on to the next frame. And he does it.
Trips him out, so through 3 frames, Chris Cullins has $500 in the Storm Shootout. We'll be right back. Don't go away. The Bowlers Company. By National Airlines, everything's better up here. And by Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, comfort and style at your fingertips. Chris Cullins up in the 4th frame after Danny Sustaita failed to strike.
That ball was set short. It's going left. Oh my gosh, he carries a fortunate Brooklyn strike. And there's a smile from a happy guy.
John Daly must strike to save the frame and carry it over for the other bowlers.
Well, he's got the same shot going. It goes over the left-hand side. Well, one Brooklyn strike to another.
Daly now up again in the 5th with a shot at $2,000.
Oh, and a fine shot in the 1-3 pocket. 6 takes care of the 10-pin. Great shot for John Daly. Get the good projection. The ball goes over about the 12 board, hooking back into the pocket. 6-pin takes care of the 10. That's 4 in a row for John Daly. Will he remain hot? Well, we'll find out when we return.
$500 and John Daly $2,000 in the 5th frame. Danny Sustaita up in the 7th. He has not struck yet, Marshall.
Well, that shot certainly looks better. Right high flush in the pocket. And finally for Danny Sustaita, something he can feel good about. He struggled the whole game.
Once again, John Daly with a chance to save the frame.
Coming in light, leaving the 2-pin, Danny Sustaita, $1,500. And for a guy who hasn't done anything the entire game, he's got to feel great about that.
This may turn things around for him. He may relax a bit.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with momentum, Jan. You know, he struggled early in the game. Now, finally, he gets his first strike, wins money off of it. He can take that and really build, maybe get a great finish.
So Jack Nelson, the only one without any money so far in this match. But, hey, 3 frames left.
Get up, come on.
And a great shot by Danny Sustaita.
You can just see it in his eyes. He's a different player now.
Well, Marshall, the heat is now on our pick, Chris Cullins. He has to save another $1,000 frame and carry it over.
Well, he's the one that we watched in practice and looked like he was really in command of the lanes, throwing the ball very, very, very well. We'll see if he can take care of it right now.
He's taking a lot of time, Marshall, but then again, it's a crucial shot. If he strikes here, it carries over for the 9th frame, and that'll be worth $3,000.
Well, it looks, oh, what a great shot. When we come back, we'll be playing for some big money.
Of the Storm Shootout. Jack Nelson taking a moment. He's going to lead this frame off. It is now worth $6,000. Right now, they still play the same rules for this frame only. 2 tie, all tie with a strike.
Good projection. But it's going to be a Brooklyn. Nope. Crossover, leaving the 5 and the 10. And certainly not happy with that shot. Boy, the opportunity doesn't knock too many times. He's got to hope right now that there's going to be some carryover because he wants another shot at it.
Jack Nelson, no money so far. He definitely is rooting for his 3 buddies out there to strike.
That's right. John Daly was licking his chops after watching that shot going, there's a chance. It's a good chance for me.
Well, he has 4 strikes so far this match. Has already captured $2,000. Looking for an additional $6,000 and those airline tickets. Oh, he threw that one sweet.
Solid 10, 6-pin going around the bottom of the 10-pin. Again, this was thrown sweetly. It just absolutely perfect right there, but you saw the 6 go around the bottom of the 10, and he's running out. He thinks, I've got it. Oh, I got it.
It got me.
Yeah.
Danny Sustaita taking some breaths there.
Well, after 6 frames, excuse me, Sustaita had not thrown a strike, didn't have any money, looked lost, and now he's right there in the thick of things, lined up with a chance at $6 grand.
Come on, get up!
And a solid 10 for Sustaita as well. Now here comes the man that we made the favorite at the start of the telecast. With a strike here, he can end it all.
And he only has $500 so far from the first frame, so he could take the first and last frames with 1 strike here.
This would also give him 4 strikes, which is what John Daly has. You don't think they're rooting against Mr. Cullins right now, do you?
Well, I would be.
For all the money. And not a very good shot for Cullins. We'll go into sudden death. Now you don't need to strike, Jan. It's whoever has the high pinfall. But I think somebody's going to take it with a strike.
But if any of them do tie, if 2 people would strike or 3 strike, those 3 would continue on again in sudden death.
That's right.
But whoever didn't strike would be out, or if 3 of them have 9 count, whoever doesn't get 9 would be out.
That's correct. Another crossover, and it's a 9 count.
Well, you never know. Sit down and hope. That was Jack Nelson, John Daly, taking a look over, saying, okay, now, what do I need to do? Just strike, John, just strike.
Well, just strike. Actually, some of the players looking over at Frank Ellenberg, the tournament director, asking them, now what is the situation here? If I don't strike, am I out? Or how does this exactly work? I think they're getting it all on the same page right now. And
well, they're a little unclear. They finished up just before this telecast, so they came right over here and bowled the telecast and maybe aren't sure. It's the first time for all these guys in this final, and a little unclear of how this sudden death works.
Deep breathing for John Daly. Oh, what do you have to do? Boy, those last 2 shots. I threw those perfect.
Crowd applauding. They realize, he's making some tremendous shots. Once again, this carryover still worth $6,000. Danny Sustaita now up.
Now 2 players up, 2 9 counts. Sustaita here with a strike can knock out Nelson and Daly, and Cullins would have a chance to tie him.
Oh, 8 count. So Danny Sustaita is out. He's done. So Chris Cullins once again with a chance for $6,000. He needs a strike to win it all. On 9 count, he would tie with Jack Nelson, John Daly, and they would all move on to an additional sudden death frame.
Well, there's our situation right there. Nelson has a 9 count. Daly has a 9 count. Sustaita's gone. But Cullins has the opportunity to get the strike here. Well, $1,500, not bad, Danny. Nelson can strike here for the $6,000. He had the opportunity in the last frame. Let's see if the second chance works. He likes it. He loves it.
Big shot for $6,000. Marshall, that was our pick. $6,500. Chris Cullins is smiling green. We'll be back to give him the cash in just a moment. $6,500. This was the shot in the 10th frame carryover worth $6,000. He's joined now by Bill Supper, president of Storm Products, with a beautiful crystal trophy. And Bill Chrisman, the owner and CEO of Storm Products, with a check for $6,500. Chris Cullins and John Daly tie for the national airline tickets. They'll both receive them. Coming up, we'll have the finals of the Storm Mini Eliminator. Casino, Hotel, and Bowling Center. We're back inside the bowling center for the finals of the main event, the Storm Mini Eliminator. And Marshall, this is a pretty unique format.
Well, it certainly is, Daniel. There were 4 different brackets of qualification. They bowled 3-game matches, and they had 40 and unders, the 40 to 40, 49s, the 50 and older, and women were involved as well. Then they went into elimination rounds, and the women were put into the 40 to 49 range. Now they bowled 7 rounds, and they whittled themselves down to the 4 players we have today, going for $50,000.
And they want to let you know who they are.
I'm Mike Faliero from Buffalo, New York. I'd like to say hello to Jacqueline, Michael, and happy birthday, Patrick.
I'm Tony Gonzalez from Irving, Texas, and I'm here to win.
Al Cullins from San Diego, California. I want to bring the big prize home to my wife, Cindy, and my son, Ben.
Wayne Swayda, Phoenix, Arizona, trying to hold up the old senior tradition.
Well, Mike Faliero was nearly eliminated in the 5th round, Marshall.
And maybe that makes him the player of destiny. You know, he left the 7-10 in the final frame, needed to mark to win. So he just got up and did what he had to do. He makes the 7-10 split, wins the next couple of matches. Here he is bowling for the $50,000. Unbelievable.
It's really unbelievable, and I know he's ready to get going, and so are the other finalists. So let's get this match underway. Great crowd on hand here for the Storm Mini Eliminator. Just finished the Storm Shootout and now into the main event. Mike Faliero will start off this match, and Marshall, you talked about that 7-10. Have you picked up 7-10s?
I've left a lot of them, so I have made a few, but you can't really expect to make it. I mean, it's almost like a little divine intervention. Get the 10-pin to fly out of the pit, get the 7.
Pretty amazing to make it in order to continue on in this tournament.
The 10-pin falls out. Had the 1, 2, 4, and 10 standing. Fortunate to get the 10-pin out. Relatively easy spare.
Tony Gonzalez picking up his ball.
Faliero makes the spare. Now Gonzalez gets up. And, you know, Jan, yesterday Tony Gonzalez averaged 252 for the entire day. He was the hot player yesterday, but let's see what he can do today.
Well, he also averaged 230 for the entire tournament, so that's pretty phenomenal.
Oh, there's the 7-10.
We talked about it.
What should we have Mike get up and throw that for him? I don't think so. That's going to be
maybe so.
His job.
We're joined by Bill Chrisman in the booth, the owner and CEO of Storm Products, the big sponsor of this event. Bill, welcome.
Thank you, Jan.
You enjoying this event?
Yeah, very much.
You actually bowled it. Did you leave or pick up any 7-10s?
No, I didn't pick up any 7-10s, but I did miss a 10-pin, so I didn't go on to the next round. But I bowled, had a good time, bowled fairly well, got a check.
It's always good when you get a check.
Yes, it is.
Make some money.
Throwing hard and straight and throws the ball into the channel. And, you know, he has a little smile on his face. He made a good shot the first frame and leaves the 7-10 as Wayne Swayda, the senior player, who said he wanted to keep the tradition going. And you've been here for all of these events. The seniors have been the ones that have taken home the big money.
Yeah, they have. For the last 2 years, since the tournament has got the size it is, the seniors have won.
It's probably because they've been throwing shots a lot like that. Great shot from Wayne Swayda. Not only a strike, but really a wonderfully executed strike as well.
In those last 2 years, in 99, Ralph Smith, 98, Vinny Atria. So definitely a senior tradition. And Bill, how about Storm Products? What are you doing in terms of technology? A lot of changes in bowling equipment.
We always do a lot of research and development on bowling balls and cores. We work very hard at trying to stay one of the innovators in the industry. We have a facility that has a CAT system which tracks the speed of the ball and where the ball is down on the lane and where the ball's at on the lane in certain areas. And then we have another computer system that tracks ball speed in our plant. So we have 2 lanes. We have a synthetic lane and a wood lane. And we do a lot of testing. We're not, we mostly use bowlers because that's who bowls. So.
It's amazing the way the technology really has just gone ballistic in the last, I think ever since about the early 90s is with reactive balls and so many different ways of of developing cores and the cover stocks, and very competitive business.
It's added a different aspect to the game, and many people aren't aware of that at home, how much bowling balls are playing a part in the game now.
That's very true. Most people think of bowling ball, a lot of people think of bowling ball as just a round object with 3 holes in it, and it's not really that at all, especially for these caliber of players or any of the professional players.
Yeah, the ones that are able to really take advantage of the technology. There's someone who took advantage of not only technology, but a very fortunate strike in the first frame. Comes back with a great strike in the second.
So a double for Al Cullins, and Wayne Swayda up, working on a double of his own, attempting to get one.
Strike here, he would go into a tie with Al Cullins, and he leaves the 4-6-7-10.
We heard you, Bill, and you're analyzing there. All right, we heard you a little slow.
I have a hard time.
That's okay. That's what we do up here.
When I sit down behind there, I'm always talking to the bowlers and analyzing what's going on. So I get up here, I kind of do that. I'm very emotional. I really get into what's going on.
Well, he did throw that ball a little bit slower. That was a good comment.
There were a lot of sweepers that went on this week, and National Airlines was the sponsor of the sweepers. Ben Conway, the chairman, president, and CEO of National Airlines, presents checks to Ben Huffs and Ron Dixon, sweeper winners this week. There's the balance of the sweeper winners. We already mentioned Chris Collins. Payout for the sweepers, $176,000. Almost 1,500 sweeper entries. Boy, they're popular. Look at the current score. Al Cullins in the lead by 10 pins.
That's over Mike Faliero.
Tony Gonzalez now up in the 3rd frame.
Yeah, the same lane he left that 7-10. And Bill, he made a great shot in the first frame. That's just a tough break.
Yeah, I'd say there's nothing. I'd say he made a little bit of adjustment, or mentally anyway, and that didn't get very good results from it.
No, exactly. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier with Jan. You make sometimes a subconscious adjustment. You know, he left the 7-10. He wants to make sure, well, I want to get that ball a little higher in the pocket, and the swing breaks down a little bit and ends up going through the nose.
Now, Bill, Storm came out with a new sports series. You're coming out with a sports series of bowling balls?
Right. They're basically polyester, fun-type balls used mostly for spares. We felt that being involved in sports, and most people that bowl are involved in sports, so we thought it'd be an attractive thing. We have a soccer ball out right now. We're going to do a basketball, a football, a baseball, a hockey puck, in a series of balls over the next 18 months.
Well, I think that's a great idea. I know the soccer ball has really been a good seller, and not only a good spare ball, but kind of a fun conversation piece as well.
I think that you have to, there's some tendency to go to fun balls right now, but the idea is to try to get more people exposed to bowling. If you get these kids that are playing soccer and they see it, they want to go throw the soccer ball and go bowl. Maybe they'll find out how fun bowling is and how challenging it really is. So.
Wayne Swayda trying to come back from that open frame, and I noticed, Bill, you had your wife Barb with you. She a big part of the company, or?
Actually, she's a big part of the company because she's married to me, but I mean, she helps me out a lot. She actually is the one that came up with the initial name of Storm, which has worked out really well for us. She does some work with our apparel line and things like that too, but she runs her own company. So.
Busy lady.
Yep.
Busy family.
Yeah. We try to stay busy.
Meanwhile, Al Cullins throws a turkey. 3-bagger there. Wayne Swayda attempting to shoot a spare. Bill Chrisman, thanks very much for all you do for bowling and all of your sponsorships. Storm, great supporter.
Thanks, Jan. Thanks, Marshall. I appreciate you having me up here and
nice having
chatting
you with
a
us.
little bit.
Well, Al Cullins has the early lead. We'll be back with more action from the Orleans in a moment. There's a look at Robert Peravia, the director of bowling for Coast Resorts. He's the one instrumental in bringing the event here to the Orleans, and he does a great job for bowling. Tony Gonzalez now up in the 4th frame. He trails by 35 pins. It's his third Mini Eliminator, and we are joined in the booth by Lori Tesmar, the President of Sales and Marketing of Turbo 2-in-1 Grips. Welcome, Lori.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure to have you join us.
It's always great to be back.
Ooh.
Well, Gonzalez leaves the 4-9, but breaks the 9-pin out of it, so he shouldn't have any trouble making that spare.
Lori, have you been here all week? You enjoyed the tournament?
We were here for Bowl Expo a couple weeks ago, so I flew home prior to the event. I missed the first few days, but came in for the last week. It's been a lot of fun.
You didn't bowl it this year, did you?
No.
Oh. Are you going to ever? We talk about this every
we
year.
talk about it every year, but I don't really compete on this level at all. I like to watch all the action, sit back and cheer everybody on.
Well, I know Turbo 2-in-1 has some new things going on. What's up with you?
Well, like I said, 3 weeks ago we were here for Bowl Expo, and we announced the launch of our new website, which has been real exciting. We now have an online store where bowlers and bowling enthusiasts can visit and check out the latest and greatest in apparel and grips and all kinds of fun stuff.
Well, that's great. Well, that's the way everybody's going now.
Oh, boy, Al Cullins, not only does he get the strikes when the good shots are thrown, but there was a real errant shot, and he doesn't care. He says, hey, that's 4 in a row.
Wayne Swayda has to get some strikes going here if he's going to hold up that senior tradition.
Well, Lori, when you take into consideration the power of the bowling balls, Swayda, he gets a carryover strike too. Power of the bowling balls with the grips, it really makes a big difference. As we can see, an errant shot going Brooklyn for Cullins, and then Swayda does the same thing. But the grips really do make a big difference in the kind of power the guys can put on a ball, and the ladies.
Oh, we believe that. I mean, feel has everything to do with this game. You know, the grips add so much to that element, you know, the confidence that they have, that feel that they get in the ball. And with the urethane slugs that we have, too, these reactive resin bowling balls, it makes it so much easier for a bowler to come out of the ball. So,
well, I agree 100%. Feel is everything, because when I was on tour, that's what I was always trying to get them, just to give me a good feel.
Right.
I can make a ball work if I get a good feel.
That's right.
And slugs and grips give you that consistent feel if you throw more than one ball, switching from ball to ball to ball.
That's most definitely. I mean, there's so many different types of materials out there now, and the grips and the urethane slugs that we have, just it's consistency from ball to ball, no matter what you have.
So a double there from Mike Faliero. Al Cullins still in the lead, though, by 20 pins over Mike. Wayne Swayda now up, trying to get a double of his own.
Needs this to get back into the match. Looks good. Half 10. 6-pin lays in the channel, doesn't come up to pop it out as Cullins pops up real quickly and looking for 5 strikes in a row. See if that last shot affects his game. Through a Brooklyn, the last shot. And there's that subconscious adjustment. Came in high, made sure he didn't go Brooklyn this time. Leaves the 1, the 2, and the 10. And Mike Faliero probably sitting down thinking, my chances just got a lot better.
Lori, I know that Turbo has a new insert for pro shops. A quad?
Yeah, we just introduced the 4-in-1, quad 4-in-1 insert. And it's a multifunctional insert that now we've combined 4 popular styles into just one product so that pro shops can continue to offer the same great selections they always have, but only have one insert to stock.
There's that soccer ball we were talking about with Bill Chrisman.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's a little too far. Got too much of the head pin, and it'll be 9 out for Cullins in the 5th frame, which that puts Faliero only 5 pins down.
Won the Friday sweeper at the High Roller Showboat Shootout. He also won the 2000 International Eliminator for $100,000.
So he's the player with all the experience. And a good break right there as he crumbles down the bucket to take the lead.
Wow, what a turn of events there.
Watch the balls. It goes down. It looks like it's never going to come back hard enough. Just touches the head pin. Tickles him down.
Looking down, he's not going to look up. Tony Gonzalez now in the 6th frame. He is working on 1 strike, but trails by 46 pins.
Gonzalez makes a great shot. Leaves the 10 pin, and all those pocket hits that were striking yesterday, not happening for him right now when it really matters.
Gonzalez with the highest average all week for all those games. But Al Cullins, trailing by 5 pins, needs to get the strikes going again.
He leaves a solid 4-pin. It looks like he's trying to throw the ball with a very slow speed, get it back in the pocket.
So are you still bowling leagues, Lori? Are you
Just one night a week we bowl in the fall.
So maybe, I keep saying this every year, but next year maybe we'll see.
Well, you know, I brought my husband out this year, and he was real tempted to bring his bowling balls. So maybe next year we can bowl.
Well, Scott's on hand. That's your husband,
That's right.
correct? Yeah.
Yep. This is his first tournament he's ever actually been to, so it's been a lot of fun.
That's good that he could travel with you. And I know you wanted to say hello to a couple of special people at home.
To my son and daughter back home, to Taylor and Trevor. We miss you, and we'll be home tomorrow night.
They're coming home. That's great.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, Lori, I want to thank you for being with us, and thanks to Turbo 2-in-1 for all their support of this event and all the others.
Always a pleasure. I look forward to next year.
Well, one of these four will walk out of here with $50,000. Mike Faliero's in the lead. Who will it be? Find out when we return. Close match, 3 pins. Mike Faliero in the lead in the 8th frame.
Light on lane 55, high on lane 56. That lead is now down to just a couple, well, 1 pin.
Mike has several children at home. Faliero, Jacqueline 9, Michael 4, and Patrick 1, who was born last year while Mike was out here bowling the tournament. Now Tony Gonzalez making his shot in the 8th. 10 pins, a lot of 10 pins today, Marshall.
And the whole rack came back to try and knock that 10 pin down. Pins going in front of it, going behind it. Not his day. Important spare for Faliero. He makes it. But take a look at the pinfall from Gonzalez. Look at the pins just rushing over. Going in front of it. Pins going behind it, flying all over the place. Sometimes you just have to wonder, what do you have to do? As you can see that little bit of
disgust.
That's the word I was going to use.
Yep.
He's
well,
disgusted.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, I would be too. I understand it is frustrating.
No doubt about it.
Al Cullins now up in the 8th, trails by just 1 pin.
And don't forget about Swayda with his chance working on some strikes.
Well, that's important, setting up some strikes. Wayne Swayda working on a double. Trails by 20 pins right now, 21. He can take it to 11 with another strike here in the 8th frame. You're right, Marshall. He can be right back in this match.
Big shot for Swayda. He gave it some room. And too much. Will a 5 fall? No.
Oh, and he was trying to coax it down from the foul line. Thought he might walk down.
Swayda's pin action. He leaves the 2, 4, 5, 8. There goes the 4. There goes the 8. There goes the 2. And the 5 almost. He's going to try and body English it down. I think if he jumped real hard, it might have fallen. No.
Come on.
And finally, for Tony Gonzalez, he gets the strike he needed a lot earlier.
As we ran through those dollars, the way this works, I don't think we've explained it, but high score obviously is first place, second high score receives second place money, and so on down to there be a tie below second, they'd split the money.
Correct. And it's basically between Cullins and Faliero right now. And Cullins, he's 1 pin down, but he's got the strike up, so maybe a little bit of an edge to him. The important 9th frame right now for Mike Faliero.
Really must set up a strike.
Gave that lots of room. And the 2-pin wouldn't fall. Came in light.
So right now they're all even. Faliero and Cullins, dead tie going into the 9th frame.
There shouldn't be any problem for Faliero to make that, as we see Wayne Swayda with still an outside chance. He can still shoot 213, if he were to strike this game out, that might be enough.
He could force some marks in a big count.
Great shot for Swayda. He knows the system. He knows the scores. He knows he still has a chance to win this tournament.
Wayne Swayda is a teacher, physical ed and driver's ed in Paradise Valley High School.
Faliero, he wasn't quite sure if that ball that's not supposed to hook, still almost hooked out of the way and missed that 2-pin, but he made it. Now here's a huge shot. Yeah, there's a smile. You bet. Made it easy.
Al Cullins in a dead heat with Mike Faliero needs this strike to take the lead by 10 pins.
If he strikes here, he cannot be shut out. And, you know, that's a nervous delivery, and rightfully so. He's in a position where he has a chance to really take control of the match. Sometimes, Jan, it's hard to let go of the ball, hard to trust your swing, hence the ball goes right through the nose. Fortunate just to leave the 6-pin.
I can relate to that, Marshall. Everyone does it.
Even the best. Oh, my gosh. Ball falls into the channel. Some pins fell over, but they'll have to be respotted. And what a terrible time to make that kind of an errant delivery.
It almost looked like it fell off his hand.
Well, I'm not sure if he. I don't know if he hit his ankle.
His ankle, maybe.
Or his timing. We'll take a look at it in the slow motion replay. Didn't hit his ankle. He just his timing was off. He just got the ball out too far to the right too early. And leaves the 10-pin. Oh.
Wow.
What a cruel game. That's an extremely tough pill to swallow. 193 after really being in control of the match. Gonzalez, the best he can do, excuse me, Jan, is 187. That.
So he'll capture the $10,000 for fourth place.
It's looking as if that's going to be his position. And now it's looking like it's definitely going to be his position. Yeah. And I'm sure he's very, very disappointed, but should take the positive out of this experience. He bowled great yesterday. He out-bowled everyone. But here's the shot of the tournament. If Al Cullins strikes on this ball and then spares, he's your $50,000 winner. Can he do it?
Oh, a light one.
There's the strike. All he needs is a spare, and that would shut out Wayne Swayda. Swayda all he can do is shoot 213. Light hit, kept the ball in play. Pins sort of tickle themselves over. As Gonzalez finishes off his match, really immaterial what he shot at that point. He'll finish in fourth place.
Al Cullins, as you called it, Marshall, needing 10 pins on 2 balls here.
And he's in the 40 to 49 age group. Older guys have been winning this the last couple of years. Any kind of mark right here. It's going to be interesting. Oh. He leaves the 310. He needs to make that. He just quit on that shot. Didn't get the ball out far enough down the lane. Boy, I tell you, if Swayda can get this first strike right here, that would put some serious heat on Al Cullins.
We could end up in a tie here also.
It's certainly possible. Swayda struggled on this left lane. Well, he's taking some extra time.
This is the difference of second and third also.
It won't get there. It just will not get there, but he almost gets the backdoor strike. Al Cullins is going to be the winner of the Mini Eliminator, $50,000, and I think he's breathing a big sigh of relief right now.
Well, Wayne Swayda still needs to spare and strike to tie Mike Faliero for second and third. So Al Cullins captures the 7th annual Storm Mini Eliminator. We'll be right back to talk with him. The finals of the Storm Shootout and the Storm Mini Eliminator are being brought to you by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By National Airlines, everything's better up here. And by Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, comfort and style at your fingertips. There's your champion of the Storm Mini Eliminator, Al Cullins. Final score 214 to 193. And in with the trophy is Lori Tesmar, President of Sales and Marketing of Turbo 2-in-1 Grips.
Al, on behalf of Turbo 2-in-1 Grips, Storm Products, the Orleans Hotel and Casino, we'd like to congratulate you on your performance here today and present you with this trophy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to thank Turbo 2-in-1 Grips. They're a wonderful sponsor, and it's really nice to have sponsors like them.
And I know you're waiting for a big check here. Robert Paravia, Director of Bowling for Coast Resorts.
Hey, Al. Listen, first of all, I'd like to thank all the participants that came out this week and participated in the Mini Eliminator. It's a great event, and I'd like to thank you, Turbo 2-in-1, Storm, National Airlines. It's always a pleasure working with you. Al, on behalf of the Orleans Hotel and Casino, it's a check for $50,000. Congratulations.
I want to thank the Orleans Hotel. They're a great place to stay. I stay here every time I come to Vegas. It's really a great place to stay.
Well, he looks a little choked up. We're going to get out of here. Congratulations again to Al Cullins, $50,000 winner in the Storm Mini Eliminator. And also congratulations to Chris Collins, who grabbed $6,500 in the Storm Shootout. For Marshall Holman, I'm Jan Schmidt saying so long from the Orleans Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.